That's the sound of a big deal. At Wayfair, that sound happens a lot. Dream sofa for half the price? Big deal. New dining table you've been eyeing for months? Big deal. Finally picking up those last few pieces and finishing that bedroom? Now that's a really big deal. Whatever your home needs, Wayfair has the selection, the savings, and over millions of 5-star reviews to back it up. Shop wayfair.com today before someone else snags your big deal.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Ryan Alsley here, play-by-play for the Abby Canucks. You got it locked in the line chain, a Vancouver Canucks podcast.
Breaking news coming out of Vancouver. Okay, maybe not breaking news because this came out hours ago, but the first domino has finally fallen here in Vancouver. We've been waiting for the Chaos Draft rumors to turn into reality, and it has officially happened. Tyler Myers is headed to the Dallas Stars after 6.5 seasons, over 400 games, and the endless debate among the fan base. The Myers era in Vancouver is officially over. But the return, that's where things get interesting. Let's break down the picks and the salary retention in this trade. Now, this is coming from TSN's Darren Dreger and Pierre LeBrun. They were the first, or actually Dreger was the first on it, and then Pierre LeBrun came up with the follow-up. The Canucks are sending Tyler Myers to the Dallas Stars. In exchange, Vancouver is getting back a second-round pick in the 2027 draft and a fourth-round pick in the 2029 draft. Now, to get that second-rounder, the Canucks obviously had to get creative. Now, they are retaining 50% of Myers' contract for this year and next year. That makes him a $1.5 million player for Dallas, which is absolute highway robbery for a Stars team that has been desperate for a right-shot defenseman to help balance out Miro Heiskanen on the left side. Now, here's the thing, and this is just me. I don't get why the Canucks decided to retain on Myers' deal. We heard the idea of it float around. Dallas has over $5 million in cap space, and that is after this trade was finalized. They could have very well eaten the entirety of the contract, as prior to this, they had, I think, a little over $6 million in cap space. But maybe they want to make more moves this deadline, or maybe the Canucks were willing to retain, and that may have actually enticed Dallas to do the deal, as well as maybe throw in that extra draft pick. Now, I'm not sure if they were willing to retain when Detroit was offering a second-round pick, but with this trade, they were, as I said, able to squeeze another draft pick out of Dallas to get the deal done and across the finish line. Now, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the Canucks retaining on this. I know it is only, half of $3 million. It is only $1.5 million over the next 2 seasons. But again, us Canuck fans, the idea of retaining, we're still retaining on Mikheyev, the OEL buyout stuff. Us Canuck fans are a little, sensitive to that topic. But once again, let me know your comments in the comment section down below on the Canucks retaining on Tyler Myers' contract. Now, speaking of, cap space and whatnot, we've been talking about the Canucks needing to weaponize their cap space, and this is exactly what they're doing. By taking on that retention, they've turned an aging defenseman into a valuable second-round asset. And remember, second-round picks, they are very valuable. I think a lot of people overlook second-round picks, and you can easily turn those into a really good player. And also, keep in mind, you can also trade up those picks, as a lot of teams are very interested in second-round picks, and you could easily turn that into a first-round pick if you were to trade up. Now, remember, as we mentioned, the Red Wings did reportedly offer a second-round pick for Myers, but Myers, of course, utilized his trade protection to land in Dallas, which is a destination that he specifically desired. It's where he wanted to go. He has family connections in Texas. He was born in Houston. His mother lives in Texas. So this is obviously great for him and his family. And especially, when he settles in, it's obviously probably going to take some time for him to settle in, find a home. But at least for the time being, his mother is there in Dallas or Houston, I believe. But hey, this is where he wanted to go, and I am absolutely thrilled that Myers got to go where he wanted to go. And again, there's no ill will towards Myers for taking this long. Perhaps this could have been done on Monday. And then perhaps my hot take would have come true, but it's okay. He ends up going to a place that he really wanted to go, and the Canucks were able to facilitate that. And the fact that they got 2 draft picks out of it, darn good work by Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford on that. But now, obviously, losing Myers is going to leave a huge hole in that defense, not necessarily skill-wise, but when it comes to that locker room and the locker room presence. Because Myers was a huge locker room presence. He was a huge presence in the community. You cannot deny the impact that he had in that community. Now, obviously, over those 3 games that Myers sat out for trade-related reasons, the Canucks did go 0-2-1 and were outscored 14-4. Say what you want about his contract over the years, but perhaps losing Myers for those 3 games, not that they probably would have changed the result of the games, because honestly, the Canucks played like absolute shit in those games, maybe with the exception of that game against Winnipeg. But the other 2, they had, no fight whatsoever and looked completely out of it. But on that note, Myers does leave the Vancouver Canucks 31st all-time in games played for this franchise, 488 games and 138 points, and a lot of memorable moments. He was a polarizing figure, but he was a mainstay on that back end for a very, very long time. And he will most certainly be missed. Obviously, we knew he had a desire to retire here in Vancouver and to retire as a Canuck. Perhaps maybe once, his career officially comes to an end and he does decide to hang up the skates, perhaps maybe we could very well see him come back to Vancouver on like a 1-day deal so he can retire as a Vancouver Canuck. But maybe that is wishful thinking, as we don't know how his time in Dallas is going to end up, and maybe even how long he will be in Dallas as well. But I want to know what you guys think. Did Patrick Allvin get enough for Tyler Myers? Is the 50% retention worth the 2nd-round pick and the additional pick that the Canucks got in this trade? Do you think that the retention is what landed us that 4th-round pick in 2029? Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the trade as our eyes now move to the UFAs. Specifically, I saw somewhere to keep an eye on Kane, although apparently it has been silent on the Kane trade front, which obviously is very concerning. But if you enjoyed this breakdown and video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to The Line Change for more daily coverage as we continue to count down towards the trade deadline. Keep in mind, there is only 1 game left between now and the deadline, which is, of course, tonight. The Canucks taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. And, of course, we will have our post-game show at 10:15 tonight following that game. And, of course, perhaps we'll talk a little bit more about this trade with my buddy Gerald, and we'll discuss maybe more about this trade. And who knows, maybe there will be another trade that we can talk about in that post-game. So be sure to be on the lookout and tune into that. Once again, drop your comments down below. What do you guys think about this trade? And let's take a look at the NHL odds for today. I know some of the games have already started, but also bear in mind, as I mentioned, these odds are subject to change. And speaking of these odds, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my sponsor of this video, none other than DraftKings Sportsbook, which is an official sports betting partner of the NHL.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%. meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario, restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL, all rights reserved. This video has been a presentation of both DraftKings Sportsbook as well as the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, where it's every team, everywhere. Once again, drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this trade and the return that we got for Tyler Myers. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next line change.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.